Hello everyone, this is AmberAnkNA here. Welcome to my channel. Well, I play a variety of games and do narrations for fanfics. I'm really hoping you enjoy my content. If you do, make sure to comment below, leave a like, and subscribe with the notifications on. Right, so next time, this is AmberAnkNA. Welcome to my channel. So, hi. Up and left, chapter 11. Forget the horror here. Because every time I read that title, I can't help but sing because it's basically the title, one of the words from the lyrics. But that's like by Chloe and I can't help it. Anyways, first time as we see, it's a K-based soundtrack. So you could probably guess where this chapter takes place. They could see the one iron rectangular archway from the Subaru as they park in one of the allotted spaces near the Anksters. In bold white lettering from left to right, a wooden sign that stretched the length of the top portion read, "A Bay Cemetery." An eerie chill wafted through Mass's mind as he realized Victoria was correct about this place. The storm unforgettably devastated the entire town, but left the cemetery completely intact. In fact, it looked exactly the same she remembered, and it was beginning to break her heart all over again. Three girls exited the car and began slowly plodding towards the graveyard. Cool, I hate it here. She knew her voice sounded shaky, and it made sense. She was choking back the tears that threatened. In her mind, she felt selfish. To her, this office place was where she experienced the crippling horror of burying the kind soul who was like a father to her. While feeling guilty, she would soon be leaving her best friend all alone at any moment. Even more devastating, she had to bury the love of her life, her partner in time, her favorite person, her captain, and her soulmate, not 5 years later. She remembered the overwhelming grief she experienced as she watched Chloe's lifeless body lay in complete stillness, knowing she could have changed things for a different outcome. Her casket was lowered, and she believed she'd never see the girl that meant everything to her ever again. Mass? Are you okay? Her spouse's voice helped release her from her own thoughts, momentarily bringing her back to the present. She felt like an encouraging arm on her shoulder, sending a slight relief to her worried heart. A few hours earlier, she felt a degree of strength and vigor flowing through her body as she was prepared to face the Caribbean once more. But physically being back in the town, especially the cemetery, filled her with an enormous sadness. Yeah, I think so. Let's get in and get out. Fuck this place. Chloe pulled her closer into her side hug, slightly twisting at the hips, and it reminded Chloe Mass of the time they were reconnecting in the graveyard while casually strolling down the train tracks. Since you're mysterious still here, I'd be your faithful chauffeur and companion. My powers might not last, Chloe. That's okay. We will. forever. And those 3 lines will always be the best lines ever from Life is Strange 1. Always. Throwing it. Life is Strange. Whoever's running the Life is Strange Twitter, don't ever take these lines, replace these lines, and put them in use for Amber Price. Please don't. We still hate you for saying Chloe is partner to partner a crime to Rachel. We still hate that you did that. She always knew her connection with Chloe was unique, but when she heard her punk use the word forever that day, she knew she meant it. Max wasn't sure when she realized she was in love with the girl, but the sad moment was special, and her embrace felt warm and loving and real. That week was tough in so many ways, but she didn't harbor many negative feelings about it anymore. Without the darkness they experienced during the first storm week, she and her amazing wife wouldn't be where they were today. And she trembled at the thought of where she might have ended up without the girl's love and devotion. This feeling was different, however. Being back in such a dreadful place was like digging into sin and peeling back a star so old it was barely still visible. Max's heart raced as the girls continued up the slight incline, past the bends at the Anksters and towards the main section of grave sites. The rain had lessened to a sprinkle when they arrived, but it was still enough to soak into the fabric of their nice business clothes. If not for the dark clouds, the sun would have illuminated everything on their path. But currently, it was pitch black like nighttime. Thankfully, the lone streetlight shined brightly enough to show the way. Guys! The teenager luckily spoke from a few paces behind the couple, sorry Max to a point where she jumped and spun around. What are we looking for? I know she said something about a fifth point, but what does that really mean? A thunderclap growled in the distance, indicating the storm had moved past the graveyard area and was heading away from their location. Rachel sold us a Chloe. Max began after clearing her throat. That was running tests at William's grave. That has to be it. After walking up and stopping at the destination, she looked down at the empty cement flower urn beside the headstone and looked at it. I should have bought some flowers. I'm such an idiot. She placed the back of her hand on her forehead and wiped the rain moisture from her brow. No way, dude! Chloe reached over and took Max's hand, lovingly kissing each finger in the progress. You're perfect! I should have been the one to think about the flowers. Hell! We didn't even know if this place was still intact when we left the house. So many city fucking things happen here. Flowers were the last things on any of our minds. Don't beat yourself up, please, love. Des placed a hand on both of her mom's inner shoulders and gently rubbed in a circular motion. The family of three hovered over the grave, and Max heard Chloe take a quick, short breath. Do you want to go alone, babe? Maybe you'd like to have a little time by yourself for a few moments. No way! The tall girl interrupted. I want you with me. He meant a lot to both of us, and I can't imagine doing this without you. Max still got in tightly with her partner, and she felt both horrified at the setting and safe and secured with her wife. Chloe bent down and buried her face in a brown hair, taking a deep sniff. You smell good, love. Yeah. You try weird. Desi yelled, and pushed past the pail with Morocco helped to lighten the mood. She coursed down beside the headstone with marble lettering that read Place, and placed her hand over the Y's name. Master drove her daughter slowly, running her fingertips over the Y's area, watching them wiggle with the bumps and cursors in the snow. The awkward still looked pretty good, as she noticed. On each side of the last name, 2 trees were congruously opposite each other. At the top, a matchless structure completed the scene, even acting as a frame around the marble lettering. Before the last name, and to the bottom left corner, William Ace, occupied a rectangular area along with the dates 1970 to 2008, which serves as a reminder that it had been 12 years since the accident. In the right corner, a massive white rectangle inhabited the lower quadrant like it had been waiting years to be filled in. Max knew the vacant spot was meant for the man's wife, whose body would never find its final resting place where it belonged because of the explosion at the diner during the storm. No doubt, Joyce and William decided upon a sealed headstone years prior, but they didn't expect what fate had in store for them and their family. And one of the 2 realities Max experienced was she was there to witness that second rectangular area filled in with Chloe Ace, and it made her heart sink thinking about that bleak and hurrious day. Suddenly, like a waking nightmare, she was back in that place. She wore a black sleeveless dress which came down to about her mid-thigh, with a false golden doe necklace that draped down, hanging mid-torso. The sun was bright, casting elongated shadows out in front of the others who were attending the funeral. Yet it was drink and dreary in her heart. It might as well have been the darkest day, hardest part of night, as the pitch-black grief sent her mind in uncontrollable loops. Her soul had been stabbed and slashed with the bigger dagger of death, and she would do anything to hold her blue-haired punk again. The minister was processing through his standard graveside message, and it really pissed Max off. Her soulmate deserved so much more than the typical verser the motherfucker probably Googled on his computer a day prior. This causation spread throughout her body, and she felt a numb nothingness set in. As upset as she was, everything appeared gray and lacked any real definition or meaning. The only thing that mattered right there in that moment, was the past and the present. She no longer cared about the present. As she came to this realization, the butterfly landed on her love's cast. Through red, irritated eyes, she continued she couldn't control her face, as a smile was forcing itself throughout her slightly cracked lips. The only 2 thoughts that went through her mind were the kiss they shared in her wife's final moments and the word destiny. She would be facing a different outcome had she not listened to her partner, who begged her to focus up once more to save the town from a fucking storm. Sacrificing her perfect person, Corey Caulfield Price, in the most selfless act, give up her life for others. Max considered the Blue Hill Girl a hero. Do you mind speaking first, love? You better at this kind of thing. Fuck! Max was luckily pulled back from the terribly vivid memory to the present, where Corey and Death stood in the damp grass looking wide-eyed back at her. Max! Shit, are you okay? Gray wrapped both arms around her wife and Master felt the squeezing Sir's waist and with a grip she hasn't experienced in quite some time. Of course they hug and hold on to each other readily, but this had a tightness to it that it was meant to so she was safe and sound. It reminded Mash of how her partner reacted when she was having one of her nightmares that had finally stopped in recent years. I swept back to that day. Which day? Curiosity big as he released a little pressure from the hug. The day we buried you. Crow. Fuck! I can't believe I ever made that choice. I don't deserve you. Mass Caulfield Price. Don't do that to yourself. Just stop. Listen to me. You didn't make the choice. I asked you to do it. You were honoring my wishes. And it doesn't matter anyway. You also made the choice to save me, babe. Don't you see? None of that matters. Remember? Our love is stronger than some goddamn unfilterism. We Mass and Chloe, dude. We were always gonna be together no matter what. Fuck the universe. See where we... dog! The hug. And then pulled back and held Master's face with her palms on either cheek. They planted a kiss directly on her wife's lips and held it in place for what seemed like a lifetime. There was no tongue, no muffled kisses. The two people cared deeply about one another, embracing their wall of love. The guilt, regret, and despair all fell away, and Max realized what she known all along. I love you so much, Chloe. It's this place. Max felt her partner's thumb wipe away the trails of tears that had developed, leading from her eyes down her face and towards her chin. She took a deep breath and smiled at the glorious sapphire orbs that stared back at her. The intensity of their connection forced the rest of reality to bend, then breathed from her peripherals in a manner consistent with the moment they conceived their daughter. It felt damn good, but she realized it wasn't a good time to fully connect at that level. So she reluctantly forced herself to look away, making eye contact with the team, her third massive gap, staring at her mother's. You two never cease to amaze me. I mean, damn, your love is so powerful. Chloe removed her hands and Max walked directly to the other side of the headstone, wrapped her arms around her daughter, and pressed their bodies together in a heartfelt sentiment. The girl seemed unresponsive and unaware of how to respond at first, then she gave in to her feelings. It was great to see her tender moment in the feelings. Look her mom back and closed her eyes. Max felt the taller girl join them from behind and pulled both girls into a three-way hug. It was great to share a tender moment with the two girls she loved more than anything, but she knew they needed to focus on their plan. I'm sorry. I guess we should refocus and get through this. Max was filled with a new, confident resolve, but she realized they weren't out of the woods yet. Ray and Joyce deserved the complete attention. She needed to say what was on her heart. She moved to the side and stood in the middle of her daughter and wife, interlocking her fingers with her partner's hand and gently gripping the teens with other. She took a lungs-filled breath and then began to speak. I missed you so much, William. I have to say some things I was too shy to say at your funeral, because now I'm so much stronger than I was then. And it's because of your beautiful, smart, assertive, and loving daughter. You should see her now. She's a light of my world. I hate that you never got to be around her as an adult. She's not only a great partner and best friend, she's an amazing mother. Part of me believes you're watching right now, And I really, really, really hope that's true. I mean, it means you're proud of her, just like I am. And your granddaughter, Destiny, is so beautiful, both as a little girl and as a young adult. She has your blood running through her veins, so you know she's a kind person who, like you, would move the world to make those she cares about happy. Max paused briefly and realized her eyes were shut. She could hear sniffles coming from both sides of her as Chloe's grip on her hand was tightening with every word she spoke. You taught us so much, Miriam, she continued. We learned what it meant to be kind because of you. You taught me that it doesn't matter how silly I look at work, as long as I always try to make my loved ones feel safe and enjoy their lives. You showed me love and care like I was your own daughter. Thank you for that. I also look at you like a second father. One thing I like to miss and might sound silly, but it's my favorite quote from Winnie the Pooh. If there ever comes a day where we can't be together, keep me in your heart. I say that forever. You'll always be in our hearts, William. I can speak for both of us. We're better people because of you. Most things has been different, but in the end, you're still here in our heart until the end of time. That goes for you too, Joyce. My mind, you and William are happy that wherever you are, and in this reality, you were like a parent to me. Also, I miss you so much. You are a role model and even an example of what it meant to be a strong and courageous woman. You worked so damn hard, and I admire how determined you were to make sure your family was taken care of, even after accident. I know you blame yourself, but it was never your fault. Sometimes we just dealt out city hands, and we have to push forward. If I can be half the woman you were, I say I'm doing a mighty good job. I wish you could see how wonderful Chloe is now, too. She's grown into a woman you'll be proud of. I promise you that. Wherever you two are, you are never far from our minds and always in our hearts. Following Master's words, Chloe turned and craned over, placing her lips on her partner's cheek. It was an endearing gesture that showed the girl who had thus finished speaking that her words were appreciated. The older girl turned back towards the headstone and worked her lips and inhaled gently. Her hand was slightly trembling, so Max brought it up to her mouth and slowly kissed her palm, helping to encourage her partner to begin. I guess... I don't know. Chloe's voice clear begun. I wish you were here, Dad. I missed you so much about you. I missed all the jokes we told, even though yours were corny as hell. She smoked and wiped a tear with her free hand. I missed the way we could talk about anything. Often, I wonder what those conversations would be like now. Probably more gushing about my perfect wife and daughter, and how life is great. They mean everything to me now. But, Dad, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard without you. Our lives sometimes feel like a book or a story, and it was nearly impossible to turn the page knowing you wouldn't be in my life, and in the chapter. Chloe's voice hissed, but she kept going. Mom, you're everything I hope I can live up to one day. Loving, caring, determined, grounded, and positive. Like Matt said, if I can be just an ounce of the woman you were, it would mean you two did a damn fine job. I miss you every day. I'm sorry I didn't realize how hard it was for you. I blame you for trying to move on and was an ungrateful brat in the process. Somehow, you kept yourself together despite the nightmare you were living. If something happened to Mass, I don't think I could make it in this life anymore. You lost Dad, and I sort of seen what we needed to be. I sort of seen that we needed to be each other's strength. I was anything but, and I regret that for the rest of my life. Just know that both of you showed me how to love and be strong. I never forget you. You're always in my heart. I love you forever. A gust of wind breezed through the trees, descending upon the gravestone. It was as if the universe was saying it had accepted the merry couple's words of love and mourning. The trio stood in silence for several more moments, holding each other's hands, thus existing above the wind, trees, soggy ground, and the dead. I love you, babe, Max whispered, breaking the silence. And you just, I love you too. She felt a renewed sense of purpose for why they had come back to Caribbean. They still needed to figure out what they had to do to continue with the plan, and she was certain they were exactly where they needed to be. Love you, Mom. Love you, Massy Mass. So, did you bring that letter? Mass remembered most of what written on it, but wanted to make sure they were doing the right thing. She knew a standard was required, but wasn't completely sure how it needed to be accomplished. No, I accidentally left it when I went back home. I read it enough to know what I need to do, though. I just realized William's grave has to be a fixed point in the multiverse. It's hard to describe, but I can also feel like a chink of energy here. Wasn't sure why until now. I just need to send a signal from the spot and we should receive a response. The passage of time is different depending on the universe. It might seem inconsistent, or it might take a while to know to receive return messages. I don't know which. Damn, this is exciting, Corey verted as he stood on the balls of her feet. Max found it adorable that her wife responded with excitement when she was involved in new things. She soon saw Crab and Bluebird inside of her best friend, and it filled her heart with joy. The most real dream being back in their hometown and having to revisit the spot where she buried the love of her life, and the girl's father had taken its toll. Per usual, the girls conquered yet another challenge and were stronger because of it. Yeah, exciting! The teenage sarcastically responded with sight roll of eyes. I just have to figure out how to send a message. I have an idea. Matt circled behind the girl and placed her hands on the teen's shoulders with a gentle massage. Corey and I can send these tiny pulses to one another. Mine is, of course, a rewind, and hers is a fast forward. Perhaps you can send just a little bit of your power without actually traveling. It's a small amount, so the energy is very released. I don't think so, Mass. Mom, I either travel or I don't. I'm not sure how to use just a little. I mean, I could try to open a portal like I used to when I was a little. I would sometimes open windows to peek into the future. Anyway, I discovered I could go through the windows. Then I figured out how to travel without the portal part. It's been a while, though. It would be like jumping into a kiddie pool when I'm used to diving from the high dive or some shit like that. Let's try. Corey calmly suggested. You got this, Des. The logo was good at encouragement. So he's made Matt feel special when she set forward to accomplish her task. I know you can do it. So, if I can do this, it has to be in the form of a Morse code message with like dots and dashes. I just say that we heal and ask what to do next. The Westwick Bond closed her eyes and horrible forms in the air. Pace ascended and passed outward. It worked almost as if she was attempting to maintain her balance. It was hardly noticeable at first, but the teenagers are phased in and out of reality, and they criticizing William. And there's the worst messes. I didn't grow up learning Morse code, so I don't know what that said. All I know is is what that said. Buddy. I stressed her arm up behind her head when she sensed the hairs on the back of her neck tingle with each tiny surge. She watched her wife reach up gently, touching the back of hers also. About halfway through the message, a small golden rim window began forming out in front of the team, about 12 inches from where her palms were positioned. It was no larger than a baseball, and as quickly as it appeared, it vanished from sight. Jess took a deep, airy breath, then reopened her eyes. I hope that did it. I'm proud of myself. I wasn't sure if I could hold back and release a little at a time. She allowed her arms to swing back down beside her hips and smiled. So now, I guess we just wait? We know time doesn't exist the same here, Max commented, as it does in every other universe. Imagine it could be the year 2068 when she gets the message. We would receive her response in our time. Now that I think about it, there's probably a lot of fucking math involved. There is. There is! Trust me, there is. And if I read the TBG, the Pirate Gummit, there'll be a lot of math, and I'll be like, headache. Ah! Corey sword. Fucking math is white. I was pretty damn good at it when I actually tried. That doesn't surprise me at all, babe. You're the most intelligent person I know. You just need to be motivated and you can do anything. How do we know if she will receive the message? What do we even look for? Liz's eyebrows were lowered in concern. She seemed to be taking her responsibility seriously as the magnitude and weight of the situation was becoming more important to the girl. Good question, Corey smiled. I guess let's just look around and see what we see. The three girls didn't exactly split up, but they did wander around the area a bit. After maybe 3 or 4 minutes, they called out, "Hey guys! We didn't bring flowers, did we?" The brunette turned around and saw a beautiful and freshwater creek full of autumn colors in the urn beside William's grave. But how did... Corey crashed forward with her arm out and finger pointing forward, a look of bewilderment in her eyes. No way, dude! I'm pretty damn sure they weren't there before. Shit! That's it! Look! Let's reach down and pick up the dozen or so flowers by the seam and struck her hand in the middle portion. When she pulled it back out, she revealed a folded white piece of paper, then placed the flowers back in the urn. Max and Chloe gathered around, and Max held up her phone to use the glow as a light source in order to fully view the item her daughter was holding. Here! I just read it. Destiny! Holy guacamole! Just got your message. It is you. Wait, sorry. Yeah. Wasn't exactly to hear from you. Wasn't expecting to hear from you. Your message said, "We are here." Guess you're not alone. That's probably a good thing. Okay, I have to keep this short because you are a hell of a long way from us, and there also seems to be a time difference. For me, it's been 214 days since we last saw each other. I don't know if you ever knew, but it's the year 2051 here. First, I want to say thanks for saving my life. And while I know dinner for you and your guests doesn't come close to repayment, I want you to know that I'm not wasting a second chance to get me. Secondly, what about now? You're probably wondering why the older wheelchair-bound Chloe isn't answering your call. Well, that's a side effect you're present. No, don't worry, she's fine. And she figured it out beforehand. But for the next 25 years, her time, she will remember a thing. I have to whip up some way to get her up to speed when the time is right. Thirdly, me and my mess, who I unfortunately left involuntarily by herself, are wasting the clock to save her from the end. The time saying I came from is going to solve in a little under 24 days from now. I need to get her out of there if we ever going to continue with the plan. It'll be the first time we'd be blitzing 3 time streams. So there's a fuck ton of bliss. Not gonna lie, I'm scared I'm going to lose my first mate, but we're giving it all. Lastly, I set up a beacon of sorts to locate us. I don't know what it looked like to you, but it should be obvious. Hard to miss. Kinda like the bat signal, but more badass. Oh, the badass signal. That's brilliant! Literally, and very fitting considering what you can do. The next thing I need is for you to, well, follow the beacon and find me, like, now, as soon as you can. I know it's asking a lot, and if the we you message who I think it is, they or they might be against risking your safety at this point. But I implore you. No, I'm begging you. Please come help us. We're all in this together, and you're the key. Well, that's all I could think to write in such a small amount of time. Corey Price. P.S. Love your red highlight, dude. Decided to go full on red myself. Holy shit! Mascaf. There are other masses and Corey's out there with time streams that are dissolving. Fuck! That's terrible! This must be what we so meant about saving everyone. I think the other would have messed in dissolving time streams, but I had no idea how literal and destructive it could be. And basically, this part is basically, it would have never existed if the pirate government didn't just basically this whole part about Nas and Chloe going to KB with your young adult Destiny daughter is basically would have never existed if it wasn't for the pirate government. That's why I found out from Clark, basically, the author of this story. So that Chloe is the one that paid for a meal at Chiplet. That's confirmed. I mean, I actually saved her life when I grissed the first time. I didn't think much of it, but wow. Looks like I have to save her again, intentionally this time. There's one thing I know, it's every Chloe needs to her mask, and vice versa. Yeah, I can confirm that. The older girl spoke up with a heartfelt half-grin and threw her arm around her wife's neck. Des, you get to decide what you want to do, but it feels like this is, well, sorry to sound so corny and sick, but this is your destiny. Yeah, well, I better get to it then. It feels more urgent now, so it's really begging for my help. The teenager folded the note and handed it to Math. Okay, see you guys later. Obviously, we could come with you, the little girl sighed. Keep your ass out of trouble. I'll be fine, Mom. Like you said, this is my destiny. Also, and not to seem too dynamic, I might not see you again as a teenager until I grow up. Sort of feels like this is a goodbye for a while. Oh, one more thing. I know you're gonna go pick up Taro with me after this. Please don't make her wash PJ Masks with SpongeBob. She doesn't like those city clothes. Yeah, everyone else on the planet loves SpongeBob, except me. However, the Legend of Korra is my favorite show of all times. It's probably on Netflix or something. Let me, let her watch it. Max nodded, then pulled Vess into a hug and kissed her on the cheek. The three girls took a few moments to hold onto each other, then released their arms. Max felt her eyes begin to water, but knew it wasn't the time to be emotional. Her daughter had a large task to undertake, and it wouldn't be very helpful if her mom started bawling. Please don't think you always have to fight. Sometimes you might need to run. There's no shame in realizing the battle is lost. Regrouping and finding another way. This knowledge chose each of her moms and success and then turned away. We love you, sweetheart. Love you, Des. Chloe had been unclassically quiet, and Max knew her best friend was also finding to restrain her emotions. Love you too, the girl expressed without turning away one final time before the departure. Her voice was faintly muffled from the wind, but her parents still heard her words. Chloe tucked Max into her chest, and they both watched as Seth's body vibrated, became translucent, then wake out resistant. God damn, that was quick! I know she's gaining confidence with her skills, but fuck! That tingling on my neck. I never get used to it. Max walked on. Did you ever get used to this? Chloe quickly retorted as she surprisingly grabbed Max's hips and tipped her to the ground. Her momentum carried her over, and she fell beside her soulmate in the silk grass in a damp patch of mud. What the fuck, Chloe? Max yiped, looking at her saturated clothes while laying on her back. You elbowed me when we were talking to Victoria, love. I was just trying to get your back. But it feels like it backfired. I'm thicker than you know. Prettier than you now. Max's anger quickly died down and she smiled while watching her wife swarm around it in the muck and the mud. All of a sudden, an impulse thought crossed the girl's mind. You've always been fiffier than me, babe. Pushing herself up, she swung her leg over the circling her partner, then patting a deep, moist kiss on her lips. Chloe's arms wrapped around the brunette girl on top of her, and she embraced the gesture with a playful softness. She then buried her fingers into the freckled girl's sides where her ribcage was located, causing Max to release a series of uncontrolled twishes, giggles, and snorts. Chloe finally stopped tickling her lover, and the merry couple laid beside one another in the dense grass, both with soil clothing and mud all over their bodies and in their hair. They sat on their backs, looking up at the gray clouds pass overhead for several moments. Mastering the trip back to the cabin was needed by both of the girls, and Closer had been tamed previously. She was nearly infiltrated with guilt and regret, but those feelings were washed away. Now the only regret that remained was the realization that she shouldn't have worn her nice dress clothes. Yeah, they shouldn't have. Like, why did they? I guess because why not? But seriously, why wear your nice dress clothes when basically you would have to have time basically getting them clean now? Because when you get back, you're gonna be basically like, how the fuck are we gonna clean them? But you're gonna have to explain why they are dirty. Good job, Max and Chloe. Good job. And also, phone! Hi everyone. This is AmberAnkNA again. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. 'Cause, you know, I really did enjoy making it. But, so I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, like, and subscribe with the notifications on down below. Till next time, bye!